Hi, I'm Amy, and this is your sewing room solution. Have you ever had one of these in a sewing box somewhere in your machine? Maybe one of you got at a yard sale, or maybe it was your grandmother's and you thought maybe it was a dinosaur remnant that was left behind. This actually is one of the coolest attachments, and it's been around forever. It was in my great grandmother's treadle machine, of all things. This is a ruffling attachment, and it makes gorgeous box pleats or ruffles, any size, any length, and it's perfect for curtains, for crafts, for purses, for quilts, whatever you want to do with it. This is a little sample of making micro ruffles where they're small and they're box pleated, and I have them pressed so they're real crisp and a little more contemporary. They aren't your grandmother's Priscilla curtains. And this it looks a little daunting to put this guy on, but once you know a few things about it, it's very slick and very easy, although it can be a little scary. So there's a few things you need to know about this foot. First of all, it has this crazy claw right here. This claw actually rides on your needle screw, and as it goes up and down, it activates, well, let me see which way I can show you. Kind of hard to see. It activates this little flat claw that comes and goes chukung, 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 just like that. And these little fingers, like eagle's talons, smush the fabric forward, and it comes back and it makes a pleat and it pushes it forward and pushes it forward. It's so cool. But you can control how much fabric gets moved forward. First of all, there's this little screw right here, and this controls the depth of the pleat. That means how much a little claw goes into the claw in front of it, the pleat in front of it. So how much space is in the depth of that pleat. And then you've got this little gizmo right here, and that's how many stitches in between every time that little claw draws back. It can draw back every stitch, and you get like huge chunk, 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 chunk. It comes back every stitch and makes huge, deep, full ruffles. Or it can come back every sixth stitch, or every 12th stitch. If you just want to make maybe like a slightly gathered bed ruffle for around your skirt, and then it has a 0 or a little star. That means it won't take any pleat. So that little eagle claw will just lay dormant, so you can now straight stitch with it, which means you don't have to take it on and off every time you want to do a straight stitch. Now I kind of leave this depth screw at factory settings at first. You know, you have to play with it, but I kind of take a note where the depth is when I first put it on, because I want to know where the factory set it, of course. And then I leave this at every 6th stitch, and I can change my stitch length on my sewing machine. So I'm going to put this guy on. This claw is going to be on my needle, and I'm going to attach it right onto my machine. Let me take my foot off. Now, some ruffler foots, and I will say most, have to have you take the ankle off of the sewing machine and actually screw on the ruffler foot. This one happens to snap on, which is pretty cool because I don't see that happen too often. Now I have this set on every 6th stitch. I'm leaving the claw where it is. Now there's these two upper and lower level. I'm going to put the fabric in between, because as this claw draws back, it's going to grab the fabric and chunk it forward and chunk it forward and chunk it forward. So I just have, I think this is just 4 inches, folded in half, and I'm going to put the raw edge, and I'm going to put it right in between. Now there is a place on here where you can put the ruffle onto a flat piece of fabric. But I don't know about you, but I never feel like that confident in myself that I could make this claw thing work onto a flat piece of fabric and get everything done at once. So I'm just going to do a stitch length of 3 at every 6 stitches, because I don't want it to be real gathered up. Now it makes noise, so don't be like all wild when you hear something happening. Ooh, it made lots of noise. Holy cow. That wasn't good. Okay. Apparently, I have to put the needle in the right position, Amy. I had it set up for a zigzag before I sat down. Well, So, lesson number 1 is make sure you are at the correct stitch width when you put it on. You can hear it stitching. Now the claw is going to come back and grab the fabric. And you can hear it being kind of a little clunky thing. Let's do it this way. And there's little guides inside of the foot. So I'm just keeping my raw edges even. And this is just straight a grain. You'd only want to do it with bias, you know, if you want to do bias flowers or something crazy like that. Now, before I go any further, I'm actually going to shorten my stitch length. Oh, no, let's leave my stitch length alone. Let's keep it at 2.5, and I'm going to make it stitch at every stitch. And watch us go crazy. Let's go crazy. Let's do it this way. Oh, that was every 12. There we go. Look at that. Woo! Now that is what you call ruffled. Okay, that is every stitch. That is crazy. That's almost like clown suit ruffles versus just simple, easygoing, gathered ruffles. So that is what a ruffler does. So if you take these to the iron and you give them a nice press, you get a clean, crisp, let's do it this way, crisp ruffle. So don't be afraid of that crazy foot. I love it, and I use it on a lot of my projects. When I make baby quilts, I love to add ruffles to the edge because it gives it something a little special. These little micro ruffles look great on home deck pillows. So stop in and give one a try. We'd love to show you how cool and easy they work on our machines. This is your sewing room solution.